So I'm on my squeaky chair. I'm going to do a rant. And this time it's about the Nasdaq. Now, this is a pretty controversial idea. Now, I'm not a momentum investor. I'm not a Momo guy. I'm a contrarian value investor. So what I'm about to say really runs against the grain. But I've been thinking about this for some time. And before the tariff tantrum at the beginning of the year, I kind of started to say this. And that was the Nasdaq is going to go into a bubble. Now, a lot of people think it's already in a bubble. But I don't think it is. I think it's bubbly. I think it's boomy. But I don't think it's actually in a bubble. And I think we're going to go into one. And a bubble is a very, very special thing. It's a very scary thing. It can make you huge amounts of money. It can absolutely kill you, particularly if you're short, but equally if you're long, because it goes up like a rocket and it comes down like a rock. And when it's going up like a rocket, everybody thinks they're a genius. Everybody thinks that it's going to go on forever. Everybody's making a fortune and partying. And then suddenly it turns around. They don't believe that it's going to go down because they've seen it all before, buy the dip, etc. But boy, it comes down and everybody gets wrecked that's still in the market. So that's what happens in a bubble. Boom, where we are now. Bubble, where we're going. Bust, where we've all been. And it's coming. And it's going to be sometime, maybe soon, but maybe actually a lot longer than you might imagine. It may be a year, maybe 2, maybe even 3. But there will be a moment when it goes vertical. And the Nasdaq will go vertical, everything else will kind of follow it along, and everybody will go whoopee whoopee, and then it will crash. But Nasdaq will be the thing that bubbles the most. And we're looking at 50,000 on the Nasdaq, something like that, which is a big number, even in today's inflated world. Now, underneath the hood, what's driving that is there's going to be a big economic upswing. And that's going to be caused by AI. It's going to be caused by massive investment. It's going to be caused by investment in energy. It's going to be caused by other technologies coming along. But primarily, it's going to be caused by AI, which is going to need infinite energy and huge amounts of raw materials. And everyone's going to be running flat out to be the number one in AI because there's no second place. And it's not going to be companies just doing that. It's going to be governments. And the governments are going to run hell for leather to be at least at parity with the number one in AI, and they're going to throw caution to the wind. They're going to print money, they're going to stimulate the economy, they're going to break down barriers of regulation so that people can get on and actually do the AI, and that's going to make a massive, massive, massive boom. And that's what's going to make a bubble out of the Nasdaq, and probably lots of other markets at the same time. But that's coming up, and it's kind of starting now, and we're in a boom in the US as far as the Nasdaq goes, nosebleed prices, but it's going to keep going. It's going to go further. So that's the idea. Now, you don't have to pile in now, and I wouldn't pile in now, but just keep that idea in the back of your head that the Nasdaq is probably going to have a bubble phase. Now, when that bubble phase kicks off, you'll know what it is, and you'll know what happens next. It will go up like a rocket and then down like a rock. Now, you could be just in the market and you could have done really, really well. And you're looking at it and suddenly you're going to go, oh, it's in a bubble. I didn't realize. I just thought I was being clever. Oh, no, it's in a bubble. Oh, I better be careful. And if you're careful, and we are in a bubble, when a bust starts, you'll be able to get out of the way of it. So this is just raw material for your investing. Just an idea so that you can park it in your brain. So if it starts to actually happen, you know what's going on. And I think we're going to see this bubble sometime. I normally get this stuff way, way too early, but let's say 18 months from now. Could be a lot sooner. Could be reasonably later. Somewhere before the run up to the next election. And when it happens, you'll know what it is. And when you know what it is, you know to ride it up, but not to hang about when it seems to be going the other way. So in this chart, which I'm looking at right now, you can see what the Nasdaq's done since 2000, or actually before 2000, and you can see it in context. So this is a generational chart, and you can see it's doing that hockey stick, the bubble hockey stick, and it's on the brink of doing that final vertical leg, which could take it to 50,000. No, 50,000, that's a big number. It will get there one day, but the idea is that it's going to be heading towards that sometime in the next 2 or 3 years, and everyone's going to sing Hosanna, but we're going to know that there's a high chance that this is a bubble and the crash will follow. So this Dow chart is more of a prediction, so that you can look at it and go, well, I'm a bull, that's where it's going. Oh no, I'm a bear, that's where it's going. And funnily enough, since I did this only yesterday, the actual Dow has kind of broken out from its little bit of congestion, its equilibrium point, which hadn't actually broken when I did that chart yesterday, but now it's through it. So you can see that it's potentially on the way to one of those two little areas on this chart, and that's where I think the Dow's going in the not too distant future. And that, of course, will be a continuation of the Nasdaq boom, which we're all enjoying. Now, the final chart is what's going to happen, potentially, with the Nasdaq. And you've got a green line, which is kind of like sustainable. If it did that, it went to 50,000 by, 2032 or something like that, no one's going to lose any sleep. If it did it in the next 3 years, well, that's a little bit spicy, that's a little bit bubbly. And if it does it in the next couple of years, then you're pretty certain that it's going to pull back. And it will probably pull back to that green line or overshoot and go below it. So the more it moves, the sooner it moves, the more likely we are to get a bust. Red is for danger, amber is for a bit spicy, and green is sustainable. So you'd be looking the market to pull back to the green if it runs ahead of itself too much. And if it really did go up like a rocket in the very near future, it will come crashing down and probably go through the green and end up back under where we are now. But I doubt if we're going to see that. We're going to see somewhere between the red and the amber in this bubble. That's my speculation. That's my rave of today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again soon. Bye now. Now, of course, I am actually positioned long, so I'm talking my own book, but I'm saying that in case you want to have a disclosure. I'm long equities, heavily long equities, so obviously, I'm not short of anything right now. And if it does go to the moon, I'll be a happy boy, but I will be looking to jump off the rocket when it starts to look like it might go thunk.